Hello everyone, my name is Melissa Charles and I'm the president and owner of Desert Leadership and Desert Leadership University. Welcome to our class on Organizational Transformation 2016. Understand that what this class is really the beginning stages of principles of high performance, really looking at traditional organizations to high-performing organizations and the transition between that and the nuts and bolts really of where things start and what you really have to look for. So if you're ready, let's get started. High-performance organizations. Organizational transformation. The purpose of this program is to define high-performance organizations and assess the current status and effectiveness of your organization using the transformation model. So in business, you probably have heard many of these following terms: transition, decision, change, life, opportunity, phase, chapter, stage, segment, part, switch, evolution, transformation, adjustment, development, progress, reallocation, assessment. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. Call it what you will. The point is clear. Organizations are developing. There is no question that the change is inevitable, but perhaps we should be asking ourselves, developing into what? Really, this is where I like to call the stages of organization development, because there are four stages to it, and well, really there's probably a little bit more, but basically we go from chaos to stability to high performance. Chaos is really where it provides inconsistent results. It allows employees to work in crisis mode and maintain a short-term focus. With shifting priorities and a lack of clear direction and goals, employees and management are working under unclear policies and procedures. The capacity of work as a team is limited. It's non-existent, really. The organization will often find itself with inadequate people and resources. The Department of Energy posted results from their 2009 annual employee survey, and the survey revealed many points that are all too familiar in everyday workplaces. For example, only 27.9% of the employees surveyed felt that steps were being taken to deal with poor performance. Who can, the ones that can't or will not improve. In addition, there's another 38% of employees felt differences in performance weren't recognized in a meaningful way. Then you go into stability, which, again, we're going to talk about this a little bit further into the program, but stability offers consistent results available and basic processes, structures, and systems, resources that will be adequate and in place. Priorities will be more consistent, and goals are often more in a direction that are more clear. Organizations will have well-defined policies and procedures. It's important to note that an organization in chaos must transition into stability before achieving the high performance. Really, in short, what this means is getting out of the reactive mode and going into basics in order to create a more stable working environment. Then you have high performance, which provides excellent performance results, business operating in a high-performing stage, experience new business growth, and maintain excellent processes, structures, and systems that align with the strategy of the organization. People are highly involved and empowered. The organization's culture respects its employees. Communication is constant, clear, and open. Some really find themselves skeptical at this process, but one could point out that statistics, my goodness, I can't even say the word, mentioned above are from government agencies and bureaucracies and layers of management and processes to peel. An organization our organizations are different. I mean, aren't they, right? I mean, in every organization that you've probably worked in, they've all been a little bit different. So our objectives are to verify the status and effectiveness of coordination and development systems, to clarify current organizational norms, attitudes, and behaviors, and to summarize findings and plan next steps for change. Traditional versus high-performance organizations. Traditional paradigms are listed here. We've got specialization, standardization, division of labor, centralization, uniformity, and control. In 1903, Frederick Taylor coined the phrase scientific management to describe the traditional paradigm. He and other competitors like Max Weber believe organizations need to be standardized and centralized control. For this reason, the traditional paradigm is often called the command and control model. Until recently, the basic principles of this model dominated people's thinking within an organization. These basic principles are specialization. This is really where jobs tend to be more specialized and routine. This makes training and controlling workers so much easier. Standardization. This is really the best way to do a job, and employees should not deviate from it. You know, this is really the practice of establishing predictability, but takes away from the individual motivation and creativity. The division of labor. This is where people who have the same job or skill are grouped together. They become loyal to their functional group, but don't see the bigger picture because they're just focused on that one task that they do. Centralization. Decisions are made and controlled by a few key people at the top of the organization. This ensures central control, but you know, it really can result in bureaucracy, inefficiency, and inflexibility. Uniformity. Policies and procedures specifically really specified that everyone should do exactly the job by the book. All people and situations are treated the exact same way. And control. Management's role is to control the speed of work and how it gets done. Employees are viewed as tools that managers and management uses to accomplish their objectives. Then we look at a high-performance paradigm. In recent years, many successful organizations have embraced an exciting new way of organizing and working. It's called the high-performance paradigm. This new way of organizing and really developing out of a need to better our employees' capabilities in order to create greater flexibility and integrate parts of the organization around common sense purposes. The basic principles of high performance paradigm are a shared purpose. You know, this is really the mission and values of the organization are clearly defined and understood by all. They serve as a guideline for direction, making decisions and performance. Empowerment, which you've probably heard me in several other sessions talk about empowerment and how important it is to any organizational success. People are viewed as partners in the business, partners who want to contribute if given the opportunity to do so. Employees are empowered by information, training, resources, authority, and support to solve problems, make decisions, and be fully responsible for their part in the business. Holistic view. This is really where work is designed in a way that allows people to do meaningful work and be responsible for the whole tasks or processes. All aspects of work are integrated into a large total work system. Multifunction teams are responsible for achievement of business goals through work. Structure fits organization purpose. This is really where all aspects of the organization's design, including formal structure, workflow processes, and systems, are aligned with each other and the strategy, mission, and goals of the organization. Development of management role. This again is really where it's a role of management's changes from controlling workers to coaching and providing resources and maintaining the environment to create effectiveness in employees. This is really the starting stages of going from a manager to a leader. Customer focus. Customer service is one of the most important principles. Everything is elevated by this point. This is significant awareness of external and internal customer requirements and continual dialogue between the groups. Continuous learning, most important in any organization. Organizations that get ahead and stay ahead are constantly learning new skills and continually enhancing their capabilities. Organizations are perfectly designed to get the results they are getting. If they keep doing what they have always done or been doing, they will continue to get the same results. So if an organization has been successful, they're always going to look at that and say, well, we have been successful doing this. We may have aspirations to do better, but this model works. We know it does because we've been successful. The question is now, okay, well, you've been successful, but have you reached the results that you've been looking for? High performance organizations. Basically, the definition of this is an organization that achieves outstanding results by making each person a contributing partner in the business. People understand the business and are committed to getting results. People are organized into self-managing business units and teams. Teams take responsibility for decisions, problems, and continuous improvement. This is really all about empowerment. So let's look at the traditional organization versus the high performance organization. The traditional organization really is internally focused. They're centralized and bureaucratic structure, planning and coordination done by management, specialization and narrowly defined jobs, standardization of performance, one best way to do a job. So you have one best way, this is the only way you have to do this job. Uniform and strictly enforced policies, really do things by the book. Where a high performance organization is more customer focused. They're decentralized structure with self-regulating work units, planning and coordination done by work teams. Jobs are broadly defined and people's possesses multiple skills. Many ways to achieve the same level of performance. Minimum rules, values and common sense governed behavior. There's also, for a traditional organization, you're looking at department boundaries determined by similarity of function. Training focuses on technical skills. Rewards based on individual performance. Employees viewed as tools of management. Alienated and unhappy employees accepted as the given norm. Where in a high performance organization, you're looking at department boundaries determined by the tasks that are being performed. Training is focused on the total employee development, so understanding the business, teamwork, interpersonal skills, and personal development. Rewards based on contributions to teams. Employees viewed as partners. Quality of life of employees is a huge aspect in a high-performing organization. Now, like we were talking before, here are the stages of organizational development. It always starts from the bottom to the top. So, of course, the first stage is chaos, which most businesses, most organizations are in a constant state of chaos. There's inconsistent results, crisis, we're looking at things short-term, unclear policies and procedures, lack of teamwork, inadequate people and results. These are all, if we look back at different organizations that we've worked in, or maybe that we're looking at our organization, we can see where some of these things, if not most of these things, are currently happening in our organization. And what we really need to try and do is move from the chaos stage into a more stability, into high performance. In a stability stage where we've got constant performance results, we have basic processes, structures, and systems in place. Resources are adequate and in place, clarity of goals and direction, consistency of priorities, well-defined policies and procedures. Then, of course, we'd move into the high performance organization where we've got excellent performance results, growth of new business opportunities, which is huge for any organization that plans to stick around long term. You have to have new business opportunities. Excellent processes, structures, and systems aligned with the strategy of the organization. High involvement and empowerment of people. Respect for people as a part of the culture. Good communication and information sharing is happening in the organization. Assessing your organization for high performance. The purpose of assessing your organization is to identify the current status and effectiveness of your organization using the transformation model, which we are going to get into. The three areas are organizational strengths, organizational weaknesses, and most critical challenges. Do keep in mind, too, that we do offer at desertleadership.com an assessment package where we really focus in on the organization and really looking to see on this assessment where the organization currently is at. It's going to be able to help us see specifically where the organizational strengths are and the weaknesses and where our challenges are going to be. A lot of times when we're in the mix of things, we believe, okay, here's where our strengths are, here's where our weaknesses are, and sometimes we forget other components in that. So do keep in mind that we also have an assessment package that will be able to help really hone in on where our strengths and our weaknesses are. So what is an assessment? What is the first thing a doctor's office will say or do if you call and say that you're sick? Well, if you are sick and you need medical treatment, the doctor must first do an examination, then prescribe treatment, which will lead to improvement of your health, correct? So they're always going to go, okay, well, Melissa, you're sick. Well, what are your symptoms? What makes you believe you're sick? They really try to assess what the situation is, figure out what your symptoms are, when these started, how everything came about. Note that the medical profession diagnosis precedes the prescription, obviously. The same is also true for organizations. Assessment of an organization's health and diagnosis of problems must precede development of changed plans to improve the health of the organization. You really have to assess what's going on in the organization. You can sit there and say, oh, well, I have management issues. My managers are not well developed. They need skills to learn how to become leaders. They can't deal with the problems. The associates, their teams are arguing. They have lots of conflict. You can pinpoint lots of little different things, but what has laid that groundwork for these things to happen? And this is really where an assessment is huge to come into play for that. If you want to improve your organization, you must first find our what is working or what is not working. Again, we got to know what's working and what's not working. You will then be able to make an intelligent, conscious decision about how to improve it. If you kind of have an idea but you're not sure, you really have to sit down and diagnose, assess what's going on in the organization. You have to know, okay, this is absolutely working. This is not working. And a lot of times, and we'll get into this in just a moment, we have to look at the results you're currently getting and go backwards from that. Again, a defined definition for assessment is the systematic analysis of key organizational elements to determine their effectiveness and how they fit together as a whole to achieve desired results. Assessment is done to determine current organizational status and performance. Once you know where you are and how you are doing as an organization, deciding what and how to improve becomes much easier. Now we go into the transformation model. And the transformation model provides a framework of viewing an organization as a living system. Using the model, leaders can see how the pieces of the organization fit together and make a conscious choice about how to improve their effectiveness. The model reduces organization's complexity in 7 key elements: the environment, the results, the strategy, the core process, the structure, the systems, and the culture. The 7 elements are viewed as a whole system of integrated parts that must fit together and be closely coordinated if the organization is going to be successful. High performance can be built into every aspect of the organization by using the model to guide a comprehensive and integrative approach to change. The 7 elements of the model from the big picture of the organization. The first step is to analyze and understand each of the elements in order to know what's going on or not working in the organization and how the elements are affecting each other. The next step really is to adjust or redesign the elements so that they are better aligned to the strategy and to each other. Using the transformation model to analyze and realign the organization will improve key results and lead to increased effectiveness. So as you can see on the screen, here's our transformation model. And really, we look at the results and then go back up to the environment, which then leads to strategy, core processes, structure, system, and culture. And you can see how they kind of all flow together. So if 1 or 2 or 3 or all are broken down, they each will affect each other's effectiveness to work. So let's go ahead and take a look at environment. Organizations are all like a living systems. We can survive only in the extent that they maintain harmony and their external environment. It really must meet changing customer requirements, adapt to new technologies, adjust to the competition, and consider the legal, social, and political climate. Most organizations eventually die because they fail to respond quickly enough to the changing environment around them. So we've got our environment. What all affects our environment are current market conditions, key customers, key suppliers, key competitors, key stockholders, external influencing factors, and market environment and technology assumptions. Then that takes us to strategy. Excuse me. There are 2 parts to strategy. There is business and there's business strategy and organizational strategy. Business strategy identifies the direction and purpose of the organization, specifically specifying products and services, market position, and how the company determines or differentiates itself from competitors, core competencies, and objective areas. A well-defined business strategy provides direction and guides to the organization, pretty much like a ship's rudder in a stormy sea. Organizational strategy is the being or the character of the organization, describing who we are and how we want to operate. It includes the mission, ideal vision, guiding principles, and management philosophy of an organization. A clear organizational strategy helps transform a company or an office from a normal workplace to one that inspires and commits people to do their best. So, really how we would define organizational strategy is a set of conscious strategic choices which define the course and direction of an organization. It seeks to achieve and exploit business results in order to meet the demands of the external environment and the marketplace. So as you can see, what I've gone ahead and done is I have put up a business strategy and an organization strategy side. The business is, what business are you in? What are your core competencies, your current products and services that you offer? What is your current marketplace? Where are you in that position? Performance against key successful factors, your current strategic focus, your current objectives and goals. Where organizational strategy is about a current mission, your current guiding principles, your sense of shared vision, your current management philosophy. Now let's look at our core processes. Now, the core processes is a major flow of work through an organization, sometimes called the value chain. It is my goodness, I cannot speak this morning. I do apologize. It's really the sequence of events or steps that the organization performed to achieve its strategy by providing products and services to customers. When it is aligned with strategy, all of the business activities should support its accomplishment. So really, if you're understanding and you're streamlining and properly supporting the core business process, it is the central job of the organization. So again, we'd be looking at our core processes, our key process variances, the computer delivery system, the support processes, the process cycle time and efficiency. Then we would take a look at the structure. Structure determines how people are organized around the core business processes. It moves from, really far from beyond the box charts, defining the boundaries between the units, the responsibilities, and the relationships between people. It further predicts the coordination of tasks and allocation of resources to units within the organization. The proper question about structure is not where it is right, but where it supports the strategy and helps rather than hinders the performance. So again, within the structure, we'd be looking at organizational chart and reporting relationships, the span of control, linking mechanics, the organizational levels and staffing numbers, current groupings, the job and role structure. A good definition of structure is the mechanics we use in an organization to define relationships and specialize and coordinate activities. Then let's look at systems. So systems are standardized support processes that help the organization coordinate and organize itself. So there are two kinds of systems. There's the coordination and then the development. Coordination systems such as information sharing, communication, the measurement and feedback, and the policies and procedures reduce uncertainty and prescribe how really things should be done. Development systems such as recruitment and selection, training and development, and the evaluation and feedback helps employees develop within the organization. Systems are often centralized, owned by management, and support the whole organization. The most effective systems are the simplest. So again, in coordination, we're looking at communication and information sharing, decision-making and authorization, measurement and feedback, the goal setting, and the policies and procedures. Where development, we're looking at recognition, compensation, training and development, progress and promotion, performance evaluation and feedback, orientation, the recruitment and selection process. Organizations are really an open system. And as you can see right here on the screen, we've got On the left side, inputs, we've got the energy, the raw materials, the information. Going out to the right side is the products and services, which is our output. And in between, we've got the feedback. Now, the culture is another thing that we would be looking at. And really, culture is how an organization really operates. It includes leadership style, worker attitudes and habits, the management practices and beliefs that make up the personality of the organization. It's like the air that permeates everything and is both the source and the outcome of the organizational behavior. Culture mirrors the true philosophy and values of the organization, the one people actually practice. So it really kind of just measures how well the organization has translated its philosophy, its organizational strategy into action. So a good definition of culture would be a set of shared attitudes, practices, and beliefs of members within the organization. So why do we look at culture? And it's really distinctive organizational competencies, its habits, its skills, its commitments, and often lie deeply embedded in the culture of the organization. Effective change effects should build the strengths of the current culture without destroying the competencies and the critical that really are critical to the success. So these would be the work culture norms, job satisfaction, management attitude, behaviors, and beliefs. Excuse me, beliefs, general morale, worker attitude, behaviors, and beliefs. You know, really, culture is so important because if you have a lot of upheaval going on within your culture, that's going to affect the effectiveness of your organization. Now let's look at our key results, which is normally where I tend to start. Is we have to look at your organization as it is and look at the results you're getting. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, are these the results that you really want to have? Or these are great, but you really would like to move to the next level. So key results indicate the level of organizational performance. Because they define the success and health of an organization, results are really a starting point to understanding how well the organization's functioning. They indicate where the organization is strong and what really it should continue to do, and also highlight weaknesses which need to be addressed. Everything is tied to your results. So everything's tied to the current key results area, the current measurement and tracking system that you have. The resource inventory, your equipment, your capital, your manpower, your materials, and your technology, your current financials, your revenue, and your cost structure. So what revenue are you bringing in, and what is it costing you to create that revenue? You know, you have to remember that really results vary by organization, industry, and type of business and marketplace demands. Typically measure organization performance in areas related to profitability and quality of product and services, customer satisfaction, and internal operations of the company. You know, really help to keep the score on how well it's performing. Results must be linked to the strategy and objectives of the organization. So that is just a brief understanding on high performance organizations. And we do offer a course that is a lot more in depth called The Principles of High Performance that really go through all of these key areas and really help you to understand the true difference between a traditional organization and a high-performing organization, as well as we follow up that program with assessing your organization, which really all ties in with the principles of high performance. So I hope that you found this valuable. Again, I appreciate your purchase of the Organizational Transformation 2016. Do go to desertleadershipuniversity.com for more products and services that we offer. I thank you and have a good day.